Hey guys, welcome back to SLT Learning, and this is Ankit Prajapati, and today we're gonna cover another questions for Selenium for QA automation job role. So if you are preparing for a QA, then there are around 50-60 list of questions that we have created so far. Just go through those questions and answer. The video will be bit short, like you will see 7 to 8 minutes video, but it will give you the full description about the question and answer with syntax. Okay, so if you are preparing for the interview, just go for it. So let's see what interview questions that we're gonna cover in this particular video. Yeah, so what is automation framework and the key component of the automation framework? Okay, so the key things that if you're applying for the automation interview, okay, this question can be asked in many ways. They might be asked you, can you explain your automation framework in your last job and how the things will be worked? Then it will be the folder structure of your automation framework. But we will cover this question in a two separate part. So let's first understand what is automation framework and what is the key component of any automation framework should have. Okay, so an automation framework is a structured set of guideline, practice, tools and libraries that designed to automate of the testing of any software application. Okay, and why it is useful? Because it is easy to maintain and easy to follow the standard rules and protocols that we have defined for the QA automation engineer, for the developer and everybody. Okay, so that's why having a framework should be always blessed for the QA automation process. So to design the automation framework, we need to consider a couple of key components should be always the part of the automation framework. Okay, so what are those key components? Let's we talk about the key components. So first things will come about your test scripts, right? So whatever the script, whatever where exactly the class that you gonna create it, like it could be the Python class, Java class or JavaScript related files. Okay, so you should have your test script where you're gonna write your actual test case to validate the application functionality. Okay, the first things will become like that way. Then we should have a test data, because in a test script we're gonna pass the test data and we're gonna do the testing to write our automation script accordingly. So you should require your test data. It should be the test data can be the external data file like Excel, JSON and CSV file, or you can provide the input from the class file as well. So having the different kind of test data in your SAM script, it could be we can consider as a data driven testing as well. Okay, then object repository, that is the key things. Like when you work on any application, you should require the object repository. What is object repository? In short term, I will just explain. It's like the whatever the elements, it could be the web element for Windows application, then mobile element for the mobile application, then if we are working with the Windows based application, it could be the window element. So they are locators, right? To identify those element, we should have their locators. So list of their locators in the web element, that is called the object repository. Okay, then configuration file. Let's suppose if you want to save certain information in any config file, let's suppose the username and password, the application URL, then the default timeout that you want to apply throughout your automation script. Okay, so those kind of the key things that you can provide in a configuration file. Okay, then the utilities, I will just say this few of the common helper function that you want to use. Let's suppose if you are working with the Excel, then you should have an Excel utility to read and write the data through and from the Excel. Then you should have a screenshot related code on the utility class, then weight related structure in a utility, then loggers, log4j related loggers you can put in a utility class. So those are the utility class you should create it in utility folder, and you can use throughout your automation framework. Okay, then the reporting can be come on a different way. You can use the different reports. You can use the extend report or LEO report for the automation, and that specific folder structure you need to create, and you can create the separate folder where all the report, after the execution, all the report get saved and generated. Okay, then for the logging purpose, as I told you, right, you can use any logging library. Like most of the times in Selenium we use log4j, so you need to configure the classes and the folder structure for accordingly. So whenever the execution happen, right, like a report, it generate the log files for you to refer the log files in case of the debugging or in case of the troubleshooting. Okay, then the build tool, like the build tool will always very, I will just say, is the one of the crucial things. So most of the project that I have used is the Maven. So Maven is one of the build tool that will help us to manage the dependency and the run the test case on the different environment, even on a Jenkins as well for CI/CD pipeline. Okay, so I will consider the build tool. Then CI/CD integration. So if you are working on the any cloud-based application where you need required to be have a CI/CD integration, so for that one, either you can use Jenkins or any other tools for CI/CD integration where you can execute your SAM code whenever the small changes happen to your master Git file and all those things. Okay. Then one more thing, as I told you, right? Like the Git, you can just say source control management. So those this is also part of your automation framework where exactly you're gonna upload your overall code, overall your automation script and all those things. So brief your answer like that way. When they ask about the automation, try to put this keywords like test script, test data, object repository, configuration files we have, utilities files we have, reportings and loggings, and build tool that we use, and CI/CD integration, and source code control management tool, and all those things. If you summarize in better like that way, it will give you the full marks in your interview question for this particular one. Okay. So if you like this video, please share your to your colleagues who is preparing for the interview, and keep watching the videos of how to crack the interviews in automation. And yeah, if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. Take care.